In this video, we talk about Deep Space Nine in the hands of the prophets after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd. In the last episode of the first season of Deep Space Nine, we get a little more into the orthodoxy of the Bajoran religion. Now, the wormhole to the Bajoran religious is the Temple of the Prophets, and since Sisko has encountered the beings that live in the wormhole that exist beyond time and space, really, he's considered by the Bajorans the emissary. Now, this is something Sisko isn't terribly comfortable with, but it has been suggested in their scripture that the emissary is not necessarily a believer and not necessarily completely willing to enter into this calling, shall we say. The station is visited by Vedek Winn. Vedek Winn is the religious leader of one of the more orthodox divisions of the Bajoran religion. And while the Vedeks all get together and discern who the next Kai will be, since Opaka was left on this planet to fulfill her destiny as she saw it, there's a certain amount of politics as well as inspiration for the succession. And it would seem that Vedek Winn is trying her best to make some points, shall we say, with the population by going to Keiko's school and objecting to her teachings about the wormhole based on science, rather based on their scriptural predictions. Nevertheless, it causes some problems. There are other things that go on in the station at the same time that kind of all lead into the ultimate ending of the episode. But what we're talking here is, of course, a parable. They're talking about religious fundamentalism, which they treat reasonably well. They're not going to say that someone is going to say, because religion says this, science is wrong. But at the same time, science can't say this because religion is wrong. It's very often a point of view. It's very often an interpretation of the evidence that's given. And in this case with the wormhole, we know that the beings who are called the prophets by the Bajorans are timeless creatures. They live forever, and they very well could be prophets because they know the past and the future. It's all the same to them. And therefore, it could be that what the Bajorans are judging this to be is not at all inaccurate. But by the same token, these same beings put together this stable wormhole, and in doing so, allowed passage of people from the Alpha to the Gamma quadrant. And this also is true. It's just a matter of what points that you consider accurate. Let's take an example, for instance, of Jesus, who is considered to be a prophet in the Jewish faith and considered to be one of the Holy Trinity to Christians. This is very similar. Also, in a Muslim text, Jesus is considered to be a prophet. And so the differences here are the point of view of different people at different aspects. And it does not say that any of them are wrong. It just says this is the way we see it. And that's a very difficult thing to pull off in a 55-minute television program, and yet they did it. And I think that they took some risky material and made something that'll make you think. And if there's nothing else that's done by good science fiction, it's the way of making you stop and think about it. How does this story work in the present time? What are they trying to tell us? And what do we think about that? And it gives you all the opportunity to sit and think, well, do I agree with this person? Do I agree with the other? Or is it somewhere in between? And that's what makes people interesting, I think. So, a good show. I believe that one of the best things that I got out of this was, once again, a very brief scene with Odo and Quark. Odo always suspects that Quark knows everything that's going on in the station, and Quark usually takes some pride in doing that. And in this particular case, he really didn't know anything. And Odo says, well, keep your ears open. And Quark says, that's Rule 7 of the Rules of Acquisition. Keep your ears open. So I thought, once again, we get another addition to Rules of Acquisition. Between this and Lower Decks, we have about 6 of them now, out of probably about 1,000 rules that many of them have not been codified. Anyway, I'd like to know what you think about this. Did you like the episode? Once again, the acting was top-notch. It was a matter of and more extras in this episode than I think I've ever seen in any Star Trek episode. They had all kinds of people that were in the crowd to see both of the Vedeks, and also a lot of people crossing in the hallways and things like this. That, more than the set pieces, give you a sense of scale for the space station, and I think that's it's unusual that they can afford to have that many extras and that much wardrobe and that kind of thing moving around, but it does lend to the believability of that place. So, and also a very nice line near the end where Kira says to Sisko, I don't think that you're the devil. And Sisko looks approvingly at her and says, there may be some hope for all of this yet. So I'd like you to subscribe if you haven't done so. Please leave a comment and a like, if you will. And we'll see you tomorrow with our first episode of Season 3 of Star Trek, one of the most, shall we say, notable episodes that they ever did. And until then, don't go far.